With a midlife crisis before he was even a full adult, and then a draft pick so low that nobody expected much from him, Orel Hershiser sure did prove that he was more than meets the eye. But how did this bulldog of a pitcher dominate the MLB in the 80s and stay on top of his game even after a serious career-threatening injury? Let's find out just why Orel Hershiser proved to the world he wasn't just all bark and no bite. Early life prior to going pro. Orel Leonard Hershiser IV was born on September 16, 1958 in Buffalo, New York. He is the firstborn of Orel Hershiser III and Mildred Hershiser. He has two younger brothers, Gordy and Judd, and a younger sister, Katie. His father ran a newspaper printing business which had the Hershisers moving to different cities frequently. Playing in the Little League as early as age 7, Hershiser had his dreams set on one day making it to the big league. He did pick up on hockey when his family was living in Toronto, but his drive for baseball was too strong for him to sidetrack. Following his graduation from Cherry Hill East High, he enrolled in Bowling Green State University. But college proved to be a tumultuous period for Hershiser's life as he would eventually hit rock bottom. He failed academically, his baseball team threw him out, and he had no choice but to run back home. But he decided to bounce back after having a talk about life with his father. Eventually worked his way back into the Bowling Green baseball team. His improvement was evident after he pitched a no-hitter and later won the Outstanding Pitcher Award in 1979. This and other remarkable feats led him to LA Dodgers scout Boyd Bartley. The rest was history. Going pro. Hershiser was drafted by the Dodgers later that year in the 1979 free agent draft in the 17th round, a pick that far meant he would spend some time in the minor leagues without continuing with college. His time in the minors had him in Iowa, Texas, Arizona, South America, and the Caribbean. Hershiser didn't let the road trips go to waste. He struggled during his 5 years in the minor leagues, but would get his promotion to the majors nonetheless. MLB career with stats and records. The Dodgers gave Hershiser the career-defining call, bringing him to the major league. On September 1st, 1983, Hershiser made his debut as a relief pitcher. The 1984 season would see Hershiser take baby steps toward his path of glory. He was on the Dodgers roster for the opening day, and he registered his first win that season against the Cardinals. Hershiser was still young and relatively new to the league, and a sturdy attitude was something he lacked. So, in an effort to develop one, then Dodgers coach Tommy Lasorda would resort to calling Hershiser Bulldog, an attempt to make him tougher. And did it work? Well, that season he made his first start in May against the Mets and became a full-time starter halfway through the season. Played 5 times as many games as he did in his first season and had an improved ERA of .266 while finishing 3rd in the National League Rookie of the Year voting. So, yes, Hershiser was starting to pitch like he had that dog in him. The 1985 season saw him reach new heights. He led the National League in winning percentage. This would be the start of his 5-season streak of pitching over 230 innings while maintaining a winning streak of over 500 for the next 7 seasons. Additionally, in 1985, Hershiser finished 3rd in the Cy Young Award ranking behind John Tudor and Dwight Gooden. This was the year he would also taste playoff baseball for the first time, but defeat at the hands of the Cardinals in the National League Champion Series left a bitter taste in his mouth. Nevertheless, sweet victory wasn't far away. 1988 saw Hershiser break the glass ceiling in what was unarguably the best year in his career. He won the Golden Glove and made his second All-Star appearance. But that wasn't Hershiser's highlight of the season, as he also broke Don Dreisaitl's record for most consecutive scoreless innings pitched with 59. While the Dodgers topped their division, Hershiser was leading the league in wins with 23, innings with 267, shutouts with 8, and had an ERA of .226, the best in his entire career. All these accomplishments were enough to earn him the National League Cy Young Award, unanimously. Hershiser had no doubt had a tremendous regular season, but the playoffs was where he wrote his name in the history books. In Game 7 of the National League Championship Series, Hershiser led his team to a 6-0 win after recording a complete shutout against the Mets. The Bulldog had taken the Dodgers to their first World World Series since 1981. And on the big stage, he carried his team on his back against the Oakland Athletics, pitching all 9 innings in Game 2 and Game 5 of the series en route to a World Series title. Hershiser yet again set another record as the only player to win a Cy Young Award with an MVP in the championship and World Series in the same season. He still holds that record to this day. Hershiser was on top of the baseball world, and the Dodgers gave him a salary to match it. A 3-year, $7.9 million contract meant he was the highest paid baseball player at the time. Hershiser had been grinding to get to this point of his career, but I don't think he knew he was grinding away at his body too. The 1990 season started like any of the 7 seasons prior, normal and healthy. But 4 games in, something didn't feel right for Hershiser. Further examinations showed he had a damaged rotator cuff. This meant that Bulldog would not be in the bullpen, but in his kennel. This devastated him. In a press conference before a game, he let the world know about his dilemma, stating, quote, "I have fear that I'll never throw the ball again and that I cannot fulfill my contract with the Dodgers. Would not want to sit around for 2 years and have O'Malley pay me the kind of money he's paying me, not contribute." The omens were not looking good for Hershiser. Former pitchers Don Draisaitl, Sandy Koufax suffered similar injuries which had them retire early, and it looked like Hershiser would follow a similar path. But not on Dr. Job's watch. The Dodgers team physician, Dr. Frank Job, performed a labrum surgery that had never been done before in baseball. After the successful surgery and proper rehabilitation, Hershiser was back on the mound after roughly over a year. In his first game, he had won it for the Dodgers against the Chicago Cubs after scoring 2 runs. Nevertheless, it was plain to see that Hershiser wasn't the same since the injury. His winning percentage slumped to less than .470 for the first time in his career across the 1992 and 93 seasons, and his ERA was declining. The 1994 season ended early because of a player strike, and Hershiser was a free agent that the Cleveland Indians would pick up. In 1995, despite a rocky start, Hershiser managed to pull himself together to lead an underdog Cleveland team to their first playoffs in over 4 decades. An MVP performance from Hershiser in the American League Championship Series meant the Indians be in the World Series. Though his team struck out, Hershiser's era of supremacy was far from over despite all indicators. The quenching embers of his pitching ability were slowly fading, but it was enough to take the Indians all the way to the World Series again in his last season in 1997, but they would succumb to the Orioles at the last hurdle. In the last 3 years of his career, he suffered the worst ever ERAs in his career. Playing for the Giants and the Mets in 98 and 99, his career came to an end where it all started, with the Dodgers after the year 2000. It may not have ended glamorously for Hershiser, but there's no doubt that he conquered the MLB in his own right. This is all thanks to his playing style, which deserves a closer look. Playing style. Hershiser is one of the most gifted pitchers to set foot on the mound, but it's not just his ability that makes him special. It's what he does before a pitch that makes him lethal. He usually has his face buried before pitches in order to heighten his focus. And boy, you do not want to bat against Hershiser when he's in his element. The Bulldog has an eye for spotting batters' weak spots, and he exploits it. When it came to pitching, his core pitch was a sinking fastball to his arm side, and all he needed to switch it up to a curveball, splitter, or any other type of pitch was a slight adjustment in the position of his fingertips. Hershiser had a pitching window of 16 miles per hour, coupled with the fact that he factors movement and location into his pitches. It's easier to pick a needle in a haystack than predict Hershiser's next pitch. It's no doubt that Hershiser is one of the smartest pitchers of his time, so he knew just how to prepare for innings in the bullpen, making sure he got the right amount of practice, not overworking himself into early exhaustion, and not under-preparing to look sloppy at the mound. But this peak pitching ability came from years of work dating back to his minor league days with then-teammate Rick Honeycutt, who noticed his sinkers and curveballs got better. Another notable person is Ron Perranoski, who Hershiser credited with helping him find his strengths during his time as a Dodger. All these are more than enough reasons for why Orel Hershiser was able to manage an era of supremacy in the MLB. If you enjoyed this video about Orel Hershiser, the era of supremacy, check out the video on the screen now or the one we posted below, because we're sure you'll like that one too. Let us know in the comments if there's another baseball player whose journey you'd like us to cover. See you there.